Hola YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Dariani, and if you're new here, bienvenidos. So, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, I asked on my social media to ask me any questions that you guys wanted because I was going to film a Q&A. I was supposed to film the Q&A the day that I asked the questions, but I did not, but I did save the questions that I did get. I got a few questions from Facebook, a few questions from Snapchat, and majority of the questions that I received, I got them on my Instagram. So I'm going to take some time to answer some of the questions. Some of the questions are repetitive. I did a Q&A video in the past, and some of the questions that I was asked in that Q&A were also asked again. So I'm going to skip through some of them. So with all that being said, let's get started with the preguntas and my respuestas. All right, so I'm gonna be going up and down in the questions because I want to tackle the easy questions first, or should I just go in order? All right, I'm just going to be answering the questions however they come. So we have, do you have any tattoos? If so, where? And do you want any more or do you want some? Some of you guys know the answer to this. Yes, I have 2 tattoos. I have one right here, and I have one also on my shoulder. The one on my shoulder is Roman numerals. It's my mom's birthday. You guys probably seen this many times before if you've been on my channel a lot or if you follow me on social media. It says never a failure, always a lesson, and is backwards because it's a mirror image. So pretty much it's a note to self saying never a failure, always a lesson. Next question, would you take any of your exes back? I don't know. I mean, at this point in my life, I feel like most likely not. I will not be taking any of my exes back. I am one of those people that don't like to say never, but the way I've been moving and the way I've been going about my life, most likely it's a no, but you never know. I just feel like I've been evolving a lot. For example, one day I might be thinking something, and then the next year or 6 months after that, I might be thinking something completely different. So would I take any of my exes back? As of right now, I would say no, because I feel like once I let go of somebody or once I'm done with somebody, then why take them back and deal with the same stuff? So to keep it simple, I would just say no. Next question, do you feel self-conscious about being on YouTube? Yes, I do. I feel like just with me being on YouTube, and I said this before, although I'm not where I want to be in terms of YouTube, I am very self-conscious because people judge everything and anything that you do. And a lot of you guys don't know this, but growing up back in Guatemala, I did a lot of pageants. Oh my god, I'm getting hot. Anyway, like I was saying, growing up back in Guatemala, I did a lot of pageants. And doing pageants alone is one of those things that, although I did pageants mainly for my school, when you're in that world, I feel like everybody is watching you, everybody is judging your every move, and even when you are no longer doing that, they still judge you because of what you once were. And back home, people focus a lot on family names, so a lot of people look into what I'm doing because of my family and this and that. It's very complicated, but yes, I am very self-conscious about being on YouTube or making YouTube videos because I feel like when somebody has any type of platform or people do something like this where they put in their stuff out there, people tend to judge everything that you do. And I am working on not letting things get to me, but sometimes certain things get to me and I already have things on my own that I have to deal with, and then to have other people having something to say about what you're doing or your life and stuff like that. So yeah, to answer the question, do I feel self-conscious about being on YouTube? Yes, I do, but I still keep it pushing. I still do what I have to do because I do enjoy making videos. It's one of those things that actually makes me happy. So I'm gonna keep pushing through no matter what people say. Next question is, do you want any kids? Yes, I want kids. And this is actually funny because a few years ago, or when I was in high school, not just a few years ago, when I was in high school, and I also went through a traumatic experience that told myself, or made me tell myself, I never want to have kids. But you know, with the same thing with evolving and everything like that, I do want to have kids in the future, or a kid in the future. I would love to be a mom. I think I would be a really dope mom. So do I want kids? Yes, I want at least a kid. Next question is, do you plan on making more YouTube videos with other people? You guys really enjoyed the talking conversations with me and my best friend. I definitely will be making more videos with other people, especially like my friends and probably my sisters. I'm not sure when that will be because obviously we're in quarantine and we also have lives. So I don't know when that will be, but I do enjoy just making talking videos and stuff. I've noticed that when I do my makeup, I tend to focus on what I'm doing instead of actually teaching. That's why some of my videos have been muted, because I also listen to music while I do my makeup. But I really do love talking videos, and I noticed that you guys like what I say or like to hear my opinion on certain things. So I'll definitely be making more talking videos, and I plan on making also videos with other people like my friends and stuff like that. We'll see what happens with that. Next question, what do you look for when dating? What do I look for when dating? Man, this is a tough question, and I don't want to like talk a lot. This could be like a separate video. But when it comes to dating at this point in my life, and it's funny when I hear myself say that because I'm only 26 years old, but I've been through a lot and I have a lot of like life experience. So I'm at that point in my life where I just want to relax. So in terms of like dating, what I am looking for is somebody that I could just call my life partner, somebody that I could just do things with, in terms of traveling together, exploring together, like just doing things together. And I've experienced so many, I wouldn't say tragedies, but I feel like I've been through a lot, to the point where like I just want a sense of happiness, freedom, and peace in my life. And when it comes to dating, I am definitely looking for that. Like, it's just somebody that genuinely makes me happy and makes me laugh. I don't want to be with somebody just for the sake of having somebody there, or like a human body there. I want somebody that is genuine, that has substance, because one of the issues that I've been having in terms of like dating in 2019 and 2020 is a lot of people are superficial, and I've said that in past videos. A lot of people are superficial. A lot of people care about your appearance and stuff like that. And yes, appearances are a plus. I feel like I'm talking so fast because I just see the numbers on the cameras just go up and up and up. But I've noticed that in terms of dating, people focus on just like the outside or how somebody will look next to them, whereas to me, I am focusing on what a person is bringing into my life. What can we do together? What can you bring into my life that's going to benefit my life? And I'm not talking about like financial gain or anything like that, but I just want to build with somebody, you know, build a good foundation and go from there. So I don't know, I feel like it's a lot. It's a lot. This conversation can go on and on and on and on, but I'm gonna keep it simple and keep it pushing. You guys are really interested in like dating questions. Yeah, I really want to know about my dating life. But listen, my dating life is not that exciting right now, so it is what it is. Next question is, what do you have planned once things get back to normal? When everything goes back to normal, I just think of like myself, and I see, oh, getting my nails done, getting my hair done again. Like those things I really miss, because I like to look good, because it really genuinely makes me feel good. A lot of people that know me but do not know me well think that I always want to look preppy and cute for the sake of others, but no. For me, I like to look good because looking good makes me feel good. But one of the things that I know for sure I want to do once we get back to normal, I want to see my family. I miss my mom, I miss my little sister and my older sister, especially my little sister. We always FaceTiming, and she's always asking me, when are you coming to see me, and things like that. And with the whole quarantine situation, I am technically a homebody. Like, I will consider myself a homebody. I enjoy going out and doing things, but I did like the option of going out if I wanted to. Right now I feel like I'm being forced to stay inside, but once things get back to normal, one of the things that I definitely want to do is hug my family members. I'm definitely gonna visit my mom and go annoy the shit out of her, because every time I tell her, Mom, I'm coming by, she's like,
no, you better stay home. I don't want nobody coming out of their house, and I don't want anyone here.
So that's definitely like one of the things that I want to do, because just something as simple as human interaction and human touch right now to me is very important. So definitely hug my family members, and then after that, then, you know, having the option of going out, going to the movies, or going out to eat or whatever, and also doing my hair and nails and all that good stuff. So yeah. Next question is, can you share your worst dating experience? I don't think I've had like a worst dating experience. I had a very awkward dating experience. I went out to eat with somebody, and I think the person was very uncomfortable. He kept sweating. He was nervous. Like, you can tell he was nervous because his speech was like, you know, when somebody's nervous, how their speech is. And one thing that I did find odd is that he kept constantly going to the bathroom. Like, literally, if I was able to time it, every 10 to 15 minutes, he was going to the bathroom. Eventually in the night, he told me that he was checking in with his roommate. And the whole thing just didn't feel good to me, because it was just too much. And the person was so nervous to the point where, like, they kept asking permission for certain things. Like, oh, can I tell you something? Or can I share this with you? Oh, can I hold your hand? And it's like, that makes me no. And best believe after that, I never call them or text them back or anything like that. Like, that was it for the person. All right, next question is, what do you do when you're feeling down? One of the things that I do when I am feeling down is definitely listen to music. Like, music drives me. Music is my escape. Music is my motivation. So one of the things that I do for sure is listen to music. Another thing that I do is write my feelings down. I haven't done that in a while though, but I used to do that a lot. A lot of people don't know this, but when I was younger, or when I was in high school, I was going to therapy. And this is nothing like major or anything like that, but I used to go to counseling, and one of the things that I learned was to, you know, write out my feelings, or at the end of the day, just to write out how my day was, so I can be able to reflect back on it. And during this quarantine, I also told myself that I should get back into doing that, because it was very beneficial for me, and it was also a healthy way of, you know, expressing or telling what happened throughout the day, especially if you don't have, or for myself, if like I feel like I don't have anyone to like tell how my day was or anything like that, writing it down was also very beneficial. But definitely music. One of the things that relax me and helps me out a lot is cooking. So, you know, cook, but there's so much that I can do when it comes to cooking, or there's so many things that I can cook. So if anything, I would say cooking, and sometimes working out or doing like some exercises also helped me as well. Next question is, have you ever been heartbroken? Yes, I have. Next question, have you had any celebrity run-ins? Believe it or not, yes, I have had. For some reason, I've had a lot, but I don't know, I feel like I'm so dumb. I've noticed that people or celebrities, they don't look the same in person than they do like in a picture or online. Some of the celebrity run-ins that I've had, I didn't realize that was a celebrity until afterwards, or I don't learn about them being a celebrity until afterwards. But from what I can remember, and this has happened like a lot in the past 2 years, 2 years. So in the area where I work at, I pretty much work very, very close to like this famous hotel, and celebrities are always running in and out of there. There's always paparazzis outside of the hotel, but I think it was not last summer of 2018, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. My friend and I were walking back to work from getting food, and Miguel walked past us, and I didn't know at first, like, he resembled Miguel. He did. However, I was under the impression that Miguel was taller than what he actually was when we saw him. And also on top of that, a lot of the celebrities run-ins that I've had, they've been by themselves. And I would think that, celebrity status, you walk around with like another person or security, but that day Miguel was by himself. And it was funny because I told my friend, I said, that person looks familiar, and she was like, yeah. And we even told ourselves, that looks like Miguel. But this is so funny because I told her that looked like a cheap version of Miguel. He literally walked right past us, and we kept it pushing. And right after we walked past him, he was, walking on nonchalant, very quietly with his little shades on. And the very next person that we approached, I think it was a security guard from my job, I can't remember, but they were like, oh, did you see who that was? And we were like, who was that? He was like, that's Miguel. And I said, oh my gosh, like he resembled Miguel, but he just looked so small and so short that I was undecided. I was like, is that really him? Anyway, to make long story short, later on when I got home, I hashtagged his name so I could see like the recent pictures that will pop up on like Instagram to see how he was looking. And yes, he did have the same hairstyle and everything like that, but he looks so different to me in person. Also, one of the coolest one that I had, I saw Jason Momoa. Oh my god, he's so fine. But same thing, I actually took a picture of it, but I don't remember if I still have it or I deleted it. If I did, I will make sure to insert it somewhere on the screen. But that day, he was entering that famous hotel and he was looking dirty, so I didn't think that would be him. I don't know if he was like incognito or anything, but he didn't look like him. Like, you could recognize the hair, the stature, and all that stuff. But if I saw him just to see him, I probably would not have known that was him. But because there was the paparazzis and they were snapping pictures, I decided to ask, who is that? And they were like, oh, that's they didn't say his name, they said Aquaman. That's what they said. Is that's that movie, right? I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But yeah, Aquaman. Hold on, I'm about to Google this. I don't want to sound dumb on my video. Yeah, so that is the name. So yeah, the paparazzi was like, that's Aquaman. And I was like, oh snap. And luckily I had my phone in my hand and I snapped a picture. It is not like the best because he was walking inside of the hotel, but yeah, that's one. And other one that I had, oh my god, this video keeps going longer and longer. I'm gonna have to, like, some of the questions I'm not gonna be able to answer because I don't want this video to be too long. But another one that I had, and this is gonna be my last little celebrity story, was the most recent one that I had, and this was literally right before this whole thing happened. So I have a gym membership to a particular gym, and one of the locations to that gym is near my job, and it's easier for me to go to the gym when I'm getting off of work. So usually a few days out of the week I used to go to the gym after work. And then a friend of mine introduced me to Press Juicery. So on that particular day, I finished my workout and I was by myself. So I said, you know what, let me grab a juice from Press Juicery. So I went to Press Juicery. I crossed the street. Literally, Press Juicery is right across the street from the gym that I'm talking about. And I crossed the street right there. And as I'm approaching the door, another person is approaching the door. And the first thing that I could see was like, you know, the person was good looking. So I was like, oh, person looks good. You know, that's just me. Whenever I see somebody, I'm like, oh yeah, the person looks nice or whatever. So as I'm approaching the door, this person is also approaching the door, and he opened the door and he let me in. And I thought that was very sweet of him, because living in New York City, you don't see a lot of that, honestly, unless like you work or live in certain areas. So I was like, oh, that was so nice of him. So then, you know, because I entered the store first, I got to order first. So I'm waiting for the lady to finish what she was doing so she could take my order. Eventually, she took my order, and then I stepped aside, and it was obviously the guy's turn to order his drink. And right after I like stepped aside, you could see that this girl is having like a reaction to who this person was. And at first I thought, okay, maybe it's a friend of hers or something like that. And you know, she said, oh yeah, how may I help you? And he told her that he wanted a minute because he wanted to look at the menu. And I noticed that this girl is like smiling and stuff like that, you know, like a familiarity type of thing. So I assumed that maybe that was a friend or somebody that she knew. So eventually he placed his order, and he got his stuff faster than I did because he got something that was already made. He eventually got his stuff and he left out the door, and she started freaking out, and she called a coworker from the back, and she was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I was like, are you okay? And she was like, you don't know who that is? And I said, no, I don't know who that is. Who is it? And she was like, that's Luke James. And and I said, who is Luke James? And like, I guess in shock, she like hit the register and she went like forward, and she's like, you don't know who's Luke James? And I said, no, I do not. Like, who is that? And she's like, what? And then her coworker ended up coming to the front, and she was like, oh my god, Luke James was just here. And I'm like, who is Luke James? And then eventually, like, I didn't want to make it too obvious, but eventually when I did leave the store, like, I googled who he was and I saw his picture, and I said, oh, it is him. But I would have never known, because one, I really, to this day, I don't really know who he is. And he looked different. He did look like the pictures, but he was a little bit more scruffy. Like, his beard was like growing in, and his hair kind of looked messy. Next question, do you have a boyfriend? No, I do not have a boyfriend, or I do not have anybody that's official or anything like that. You know, I am like dealing with someone, but it's not like official or anything like that. So technically, no, I don't have a boyfriend. Next question, how do you cope with rejection? I haven't really been like rejected much. With me, it's weird because I feel like I have a high self-esteem, or a decent enough self-esteem, but when I approach certain situations, I try to be as realistic as possible. So I always tell myself, this is gonna have two outcomes, a positive one or a negative one. So I always keep it in the back of my mind, like, okay, you could be rejected, so how do I cope with it? It's just pretty much, that's it. I go at it knowing that I can be rejected, and also if I was to be rejected, I'd just be like, okay, so be it. Next question, have you ever had a crush on a teacher? And I have to wrap this video up, but have you ever had a crush on a teacher? Yes, I have. I had a crush on one of my teachers in high school. I have more questions, but I'm gonna have to leave it right here because this video keeps getting longer and longer, and also there's like a lot of noise happening, so I'm just gonna keep it right here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and I will see you guys on my next video. Ciao.